I'm like, I can probably make it to grab bone meal out of the box. Just now, I'm going to replace my mushroom trees before I put the mushrooms in there. Yeah, I'm assuming you didn't recognize that song, right, Chevy?
No.
Yeah, you usually comment when you do. That was Cake. He's going for speed. He's going the distance.
I knew it was something, it just wasn't enough for me to place it. Well, that's not fair. That zombie was covered in armor and I got nothing off of him.
Bit of a ripoff.
I look over, I'm like, where's this fancy guy think he's going?
Get back here. I'm not done looting you.
Nope, I never expect myself to get all of the music references, so.
You usually get most of them though.
My percentage might be better than some, yeah.
Really, brown mushroom? You're just not gonna grow? I gave you like 30 fucking bone meal. Yeah, you needed one more square space. Alright, now the barn is no longer crowded all to hell. I can go out and get more horses. There we go. Now I'll be able to do the railing.
Oh my goodness, though, was it ever windy today?
Yeah, I noticed that when I was upstairs. I want to say 4 o'clock-ish. I could hear the wind shaking the hell out of the trees through a closed window. I'm like, what am I hearing? Look outside, the trees are just going berserk. Oh, we have hurricane force winds out there today. Hello, random sheep walking in. What was that?
Yeah, we were sitting on the back deck at her dad's place, just watching the tree in the yard, watching the tree in the park just get destroyed.
Yeah, like it wasn't doing any major upset to the trees I was looking out at, but fuck, was it ever whipping them around like it was trying to?
This is a 30-plus-year-old willow tree in the back, so
Yeah, it's gonna lose pieces like crazy.
Russell and I were in the midst of conversation, and we both stopped because all we heard was like this huge pop and snap, and we both sort of whirled around to look.
Okay, let's do. I think pod's almost spread. I hope it does. Oh, are you not sleeping tonight?
Staring at the wall, trying to figure out where I made my mistake. That didn't take long.
Your mistake was in trying. What'd you do? Mess up the zigzag pattern a little bit?
Looks like I might have. Pretty sure that actually fixed it. Good.
No, it wasn't too complicated.
I thought I got myself started down a whole row of it being wrong.
Yeah, that would suck. Have to take a massive chunk of wall apart to fix it.
Because I'm building up, right? So then that's going to affect the wall above if I'm following the pattern and so on and so on.
Yeah. Improperly patterned pattern.
What I should do to do this smarter is maybe I should use a different color and then come back and replace that other color after the fact.
Why is only half of this thing working?
Maybe those doors look so white for the iron doors because of the white around it, but I'm like just above them, and you're right, they do really look white.
Yeah, I thought they did a brilliant job of blending in.
Wood or stone or something darker, they would stand out more, but yeah, they really work well in the... Huh. I never thought anything of it. I just wanted something that was going to, keep the monsters out. I had thought about the birch, but I already used the birch.
Well, what the hell, Redstone? Why are you being a bitch? Yeah, now you work just fine. What the hell?
Instead of having you come over, I'm going to ask if I can borrow your eyes for a second.
Okay. Why is this still powered? Okay.
Top left corner is where the mistake was. It looks like everything's okay now.
Yeah, it's fine.
I was pretty sure, but it's hard staring at all this white.
Yeah, I can imagine. Redstone, why are you still powered? Nobody's powering you. Oh, great. Cliff explosives are pretty awesome. They're one of my favorite things. Redstone, why? Why are you doing this? There's no reason for you to be staying powered. Redstone on this server gets broken so easily and so inexplicably.
On this server?
Oh yeah.
I don't work with it, so it's news to me.
Yeah, it's just temperamental and it acts super shitty. I don't know why. Like this isn't even a circuit that's always on, and so it's subject to chunk loading problems. Like if you have a redstone circuit that crosses chunks and you leave it on all the time, when you walk away, chunks unload, and when you walk back, chunks reload. And sometimes it'll unload part of that circuit and not reload it properly because it didn't reload it all at once. This isn't a circuit that stays on though. It's a passive circuit that only does anything when I click it. And it's still acting like that. It's still acting all broken. Okay, bamboo, sugar, and cactuses all working just fine. Yeah, it's just another wart that's acting up. I don't think Puzzle actually does spread, which is a problem. Hmm. Alright, so Puzzle won't spread. Damn.
Do you need more?
No, I've got a bunch. I just thought it spread. I didn't realize that they made it realistic the same way, to behave the same way that it does in reality. Because it's not a ground cover, it's specifically a lack of ground cover. An area of Puzzle is literally rendered infertile because of the acidic properties of it. Usually under like evergreens and that. I thought that it would spread. Alright. Well, I guess I have to decide how badly I want Puzzle where my donkeys are. Alright, well, I've got 56 of them here. Yeah, I guess I have room above it to grow a giant spruce tree. Come on, get up there. And now I'm stuck in the tree. How big did you grow? Alright, pretty tall. Oh, you literally engulfed the donkey. Why did you engulf the donkeys? Freaking tree. Sorry, donkey. There you go. No, it's not a super breaker moment. I want to retain control of this. I don't want to have it just go off and destroy a bunch of blocks. Yeah, I decided that the tree can stay. I actually quite like it. There we go.
That's all inside the skull?
Yeah.
Wow.
How long have you been watching?
30 seconds.
Here, I'll show you from the outside to the inside here. Okay, so we're looking at the front of my keep here, the gatehouse. So I've got the skull parked where the stable used to be.
Okay.
And I scooched the stable back, I want to say 5 or 6 blocks. Not a huge amount, but I pulled it out of there so I could plop the skull down, and then I put it back. And the stable has accommodations for 13 horses. And then here's the horses pasture, which for some reason they're all clustered at this end, even though they're not on leashes anymore. At this end, I can go down these stairs and go visit my llamas, which it turns out I have almost all of my llamas that have survived, so I'm not too worried about that.
Worst comes to worst, I could have hooked you up.
Yeah, I mean, I'll get another trader through here at some point, or I can breed them. Okay, so across the decent sized horse paddock. Another set of stairs that comes down and leads down to the gigantic evergreen And the donkeys.
Interesting.
Who now have a massive amount of puzzle soil here. So if we look across under the stable, we can see the llamas over there. And then from the donkeys, there's access up the stairs into mycelium and mushroom kingdom. We've got a couple of big brown mushrooms, several big red mushrooms. So yeah, that's just what I've got in here so far. I could probably put a lot more in here, but it's not. It doesn't really feel crowded at this point. It still feels like a lot of empty space.
So how much headroom do you still have? Like if you were to fly up to the top?
From like the top of the stable or top of the tree, I've got about another 20 blocks vertically.
Oh, okay.
And this is just the part above where the neck connects. So like down behind the jaw. I'll show you what's down there. Down behind the jaw, I've built.
It's nighttime. I should sleep.
Oh, okay, there we go. Down behind the jaw, I've built end stone brick walls so that it sort of looks like a spinal column. And I'm going to connect that down to the ground, but right now it's only part way down. Yep, the stable's going to float just like the platforms in my Well of Flight that are all made of like purpur and endstone. I've embedded purpur platforms in the bottom of the stable so that it's got like lights and these weird purple blocks. And that's just basically hovering it. I mean, technically it's supported by this pillar and it's connected to that wall, but obviously that alone isn't structural enough to keep it from falling. And there's some cloud cover rolling in through my skull. I don't really know how to feel about that.
He was a smoker one time.
Yeah, there's just this big cloud rolling through.
I thought you had clouds turned off.
I don't.
I thought at one time you had.
I did when I was trying to figure out my FPS issue, and then once I figured out it was my browser, I'm like, well then I might as well turn all the cool shit back on and make Minecraft look good. Like I've got my particles back up, my smooth lighting back up, my fancy graphics, basically everything's back up to full graphical settings. So yeah, and the skull is basically just sitting on the wall that used to be just there to hold back the dirt. Now the skull is actually sitting on that wall as you walk up. The wall is replaced with skull. And as you walk along the path to go back to the main highway, you're actually walking like kind of under the edge of the skull. I'm going to do something with this land under here to make it look better, make it look more natural, but I'm not sure what yet. So yeah, the view from the bridge has this gigantic glowy-eyed skull. Like going to the caves in Land of the Lost, whole ecosystem. Yeah, no kidding. Ferns and vines and shit.
That's a neat view from the bridge.
Yeah, I like
the
it.
road, whichever you are on.
Yeah, I like it. It turned out really well. I'm gonna have to adjust the road a little bit because the neck where that tower comes down is gonna land right on the path. I was just noticing that now. Like the last few blocks of path get eaten by the tower, so I'm gonna have to shift the path over just a tiny little bit. But I'm pretty pleased with how it turned out. I just have to figure out what I'm gonna do to fix this underneath part where it's all just artificially flattened, where I cut out a big chunk so that this could sit in here. Yeah, it's just a tiny little hole in the side of the skull. And you go in and it's like, oh shit, there's like livestock paddocks and trees and buildings in here. Like I could have. Oh, okay, that would be cool. I think I might move the townsfolk into a skull.
Put them in the upper half so they're out of the way and their noise is faint.
Yeah, I think I might have to move them. See, I was thinking of having them have their own skull, where I'd basically be walking in at a similar level, and have like the houses and buildings all at different levels in that, and there's little campfire plumes of smoke rising up, and the whole 9 yards. But the entire town is encapsulated on different levels inside the skull. Sort of like what I've done with the different levels for the pastures. I don't know if there's enough room here to do a proper town for the villagers. I think they'd probably end up looking and feeling kind of crowded.
You're talking about the higher up part of the skull?
Yeah, the way it's gonna. Well, you know what? I could have some of their buildings up on top of the eye sockets. I'll have to look at the requirements for a town and see how flexible things are, because it used to be based off doors, and if the doors were too far apart, it didn't count as part of the town anymore. So you had to have the doors within 6 blocks of each other or whatever at most. So no two contiguous doors within the town had more than 6 blocks of space between them. But they've
I
changed.
thought you also needed open air over top of some of the doors.
Yeah, you used to need a view to the sky above one side of the door or the other, or both. But I don't know how the mechanics of towns have changed now that it counts off of beds. Because what I would be tempted to do is to go and copy the buildings of an actual town, or move the actual buildings of a town that's now abandoned because people have stolen the villagers or taken a pillager raid in there or whatever. Go and actually transplant the buildings if it's an empty town. The number of villagers depends on the number of beds in the village. Villagers spawn only in houses that have beds, while job site buildings with no beds always generate without villagers. 2% of villages generate as zombie villages. Interesting. Oh, there's my transfer call. I'll be right back. Okay, I am done. Let's just close out a few things here. That and that.
You mentioned having the kid tonight.
Yeah, I've got it tonight as usual.
Yeah, I guess it's back to regular now that it's no longer summer.
Yeah, it should be pretty standard stuff now. Okay, here we go. A village always consists of at least one acceptable bed and one villager. Rarely a village structure can generate without beds, thus not qualifying as a village. The village center is defined as a bed claimed by the first villager, a village leader, or the gathering site block, a bell, and the village's size is the greater of 32 blocks or the distance to the furthest bed from the center. Any villager, village golem, siege spawn zombie, or raid spawn pathfind back into the village if they find themselves farther than that many blocks from the center. The maximum number of population is the maximum number of valid beds.
So you can set up a bell, you can set up a bed, but you're always going to still need that one villager to start off things, right?
Yeah, it doesn't matter how many bells and beds you set up. You're going to need at least 2 villagers, one to claim a bed, and a second one for them to breed, and you've got to feed them also.
Yeah, I don't see it being easy to get villagers over to my place.
Why do you want villagers there?
I had thought about setting up something somewhere, yeah.
It can be done. We can put them in a minecart and truck them over that way.
I guess from her place, now that it's set up, it's a little easier.
Yeah, like you could, if I remember correctly, you could take a villager, stick him in a minecart, shove the minecart through a portal into the Nether, have him run the rails through the Nether, out a portal at the other side, and that makes the distance that you've got to take them even shorter.
Oh, okay. For another project another time, I could set up something, I just wouldn't know where and what. I'd have to clear out something, so.
Yeah, you got to figure out where you want it for starters.
Nowhere near the barn, so I don't have to listen to them.
For blueprints of village structures, see village structure blueprints. Oh, holy shit. Alright, so let's collapse that. Alright, I found a list of how to build every single one of the villager structures. Block by block
That's
break.
handy.
Yeah, a block by block breakdown, like it's this many blocks or whatever. Oh, and I should look at village center while I'm thinking about it. I think that one works. Hey, boy man, how you doing? Meeting point, we can hide that one. Wow, that list of blueprints is super useful. Okay. Brain of Cthulhu was fun, wasn't it? At the level that I'm at when I did King Slime the other day, it was a little easier than I remembered. Okay, puzzle. Yeah, King Slime is a lot of fun. It's not nearly as challenging as I remembered it, but it's been a long time since I fought him. Yeah, I think I would do a whole second whole setup for them to live in. Not today. Today I'm going to be heading off shortly. I've got to get up in less than 8 hours to go get my daughter from school. So I'm going to be taking off pretty quick. Alright, so now the question becomes, where would the second one go for the villagers to live in? I guess I could put it up on this hill. That actually might work just fine. Just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, about 32 blocks for the base. So yeah, I could park it up here on this plateau. If I go from here to 75, let's go. And how wide was it? What have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. So it's 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Okay, so 25 wide. I could have it go from here. To about there. Yep, that could totally work. Okay, so let's grab that. So I actually get the outside edge of the skull this time. Hey Wolf, are you still around? Should... Oh, you dink. Should I delete the original now? Or should I re-blueprint it and then delete it? Since the original blueprint cut off that last little slice. The original blueprint cuts off that last slice over there. So I just recopied it and pasted it, and this time it's included. After I save it to schematic, do you want me to trash the original model that I built? Yeah, the original was missing that one panel, apparently. So go schematic, save. Skull complete. Schematic, delete. Oops, skull. Yeah, I'm going to do the math on what it's going to cost me to have two of them. And I'm going to put my villagers, I'm going to build them a village inside this one. So I'll have to scrap whatever the material cost is for it. It is 12,357 blocks. $12,357. So I'll figure out the cost of it approximately, and then just trash that much materials. Pay off Chabby.
Wait, what?
He's saying to pay you off because you would have done all that work making the concrete and so on.
Sorry, I must have been listening to other stuff. I must have missed what you guys were talking about. Well, I heard about like transferring the blueprint or something, but after that, I sort of faded out.
Yeah, I was saying to have the second one, I would have to scrap the materials to make it fair, so I didn't just duplicate a shit ton of materials for free.
Oh, okay.
And he's like, yeah, and don't forget to pay Chabby because he'd had to do all that work.
Make sure I get my cut.
Oh god, that's scary to do. Oh, and I still have to do this little patch. Right. All right. Other than the fact that this island is suspiciously flat, I have destroyed all the evidence of my work building it.
I do have to give Wolf credit. He's much better at standing up for my rights than I am.
Sometimes he's even paying attention too, which is, a distinct advantage over you who wasn't. Alright, I don't want...
Well, no. Counting numbers and figuring things out, you know how that goes.
I don't know. I don't understand.
Alright, never mind.
Alright, so I'll do the math on the materials and toss that out tonight. Let fork to a day, I am done. I have made a great deal of progress.
So when you scrap something, you end up with all the materials?
No, I've got 2 copies of the skull.